Alright, hey guys, how's it going? Got another Destiny 2 video here for you all today. It's going to be another tier list, but unlike last time, I'm going to be ranking the Warlock exotics based off of looks instead of their exotic perks. Because as you know, fashion is the real true endgame. So this one's going to be some fun. I'm sure there's going to be things that people disagree on a lot more than with my previous video, because looks are, you know, subjective, but it should still be a fun one. And there's some things I think most people will agree with what I have to say. So let's jump in right away. I've already had to do this 2 times. The first time my microphone wasn't plugged in, and then the second time I had some sound settings wrong and it recorded in mono, and it just sounded really bad. So this is the, you know, third try, third time's the charm. First off, we have Boots of the Assembler. These aren't ugly at all. They look fine, but they don't look exotic really to me. There's nothing that stands out with these that makes them look like an exotic. You know, this could very easily be a legendary piece, or even like maybe even a blue. You know, there's not a whole lot to these at all, and they do look nice. You know, they're not bad, but you know, I think they'll go in D just because there's nothing to them really. I'll move it up to C, I think. They are pretty cool looking in my opinion, so I'll put them in C, but they could very easily be D. We have Promethium Spurs up next. Compared to Boots the Assembler, these are much more, you know, exotic looking. They're very, very unique looking. They shade pretty well. That blue stuff on the knee pads doesn't change ever, which is a bit of a shame. But a lot of people don't know that these shoot fire out of them. You never really see it because no one runs these things. But you have fire that shoots out of all these spouts here, and it looks really cool. And I think it's when your super is up, and it's neat. It's cool. I don't know how much I'll like rate that into the actual like effect of it. I'll do a little bit, but yeah. You can also see like you have your individual toes here. It's a little interesting. They're cool looking, I think. A lot of people think they're ugly, but they're not bad for me. I think those go B. We have Geomag Stabilizers up next. For me, again, these are much like Boots of the Assembler. These don't look that exotic to me. You do have this glow here, so it's a bit more, like it would be ranked higher than Boots of the Assembler for sure. And then we have the Ornament, which kind of just ramps the whole theme of it up to 11. And that's like a common thing that happens with Ornaments is they kind of double down on the theme of the exotic. They go like, you know, they really ramp it up. So this one is very, very glowy and techy, and it looks really cool. I think there's almost too much glow going on, but you know, it's not bad. It's cool. I'm gonna run these always if I run the boots, but they are pretty, like, you know, very flashy, pretty chunky. I think if I liked them a lot more, or like just a bit more, they would be A, but I think these will go in B above Promethium's. If I liked them a little bit more, they would go to A. We have Lunafactions up next. These again don't look exotic to me. You could say these like charms, these trinket things are kind of exotic, but to me this just looks like Dream's Bane armor from the moon. The shade's okay, you know, shade's pretty nice. Then we have the Lace Strider, which kind of flips the shader coloring. So with this, you know, it's all red, and then you don't even have any of the white, but this flips it so you have the red on the feet and the white on the legs, and it replaces the trinkets kind of with triangles and feathers and these strings. And then the other ornament changes it to it's almost the same as the basic one, except you move some trinkets to the knees and to the shins. Like, that's it. You have this white part to the feet. Like, I think they're pretty ugly, and none of the ornaments adds a whole lot to it, you know? Nothing makes it stand out. Nothing, I think, really enhances the theme. If we had one that was really decked out and it looked like this, and it also had feathers everywhere, you know, and the wires wrapped around, I think then it could be pretty interesting. But I think right now it's pretty lacking. I feel like a lot of the legs lack a lot. I think these will all go in D. And Boosted Assembler could easily be there too, but I like the look of it more than any of these three. Transversive Steps are up next. These things would be just very these would be like blue boots if they didn't have the glow. So the glow is what makes them exotic. Oop. Shade's okay. The first ornament for it is just making the glow like gold, basically. You have like a bit of a design change up here, but you know, it just changes the glow. And for an ornament, it's a bit of a letdown, and that was definitely more of a year, like one thing, and then as they've gone on, ornaments have been better and better, and glows can change more with base exotics, you know. We have this Vex-inspired, you know, kind of Vex take on Transversives, which is really cool. It really kind of elevates the whole theme of like, you know, this glowing like shins kind of is like the whole thing of it, you know. Glowing legs means it's Transversives. So when you have this glowing thing, it's like, oh, those are Transversives, but like the Vex version, you know. And then the most recent ornament is just Transversives, but you can change the glow. So you don't need to make, you know, like, oh, here's a blue ornament, here's the gold ornament. I was worried it was just going to be, here's the red ornament, you know, and then you go, oh, wow, 3 colors. But it does change with shader, and there are a lot of cool looks you can use. And there's a cool, like, animation on them. So I think the Vex one is better looking, but it's a lot, like, more noticeable, and it won't work with every set that you use. So if it doesn't work with the set, you'd want to run these, I think, every time. These fit in with almost like everything you would want to use. So let me think. I think the Vex one is A for sure. I like the Vex more than these for sure. If the Vex could change color, because as you can see, the knee pad color doesn't change, and the glow, it like barely changes. I think it's just, it doesn't change, but it kind of takes the color like under it. So like the red metal here, you can see it's a bit red. So if it changed colors like that, I think it could almost be S, but I think it's A, and the other ones are B, but could very easily be A. And then the default ones, I think, are just C. They're pretty average, but higher than Boots the Assembler because of the glow. Mantle Battle Harmony's up next. This thing is gross looking. I hate it. I think it's very hard to put armor pieces along with it that like can match together at all. You almost look ugly no matter what, even if you do some shader combination, you know, it always ends up looking off. And the only saving grace is this shoulder design, which I do like with the glow under it, and this kind of like a wing. I do like that. Thankfully, they made an ornament for it. Makes it a lot more like ornate and regal and kind of like ancient looking. And it is still very unique looking, but it has a theme, which this kind of feels like a bunch of like mishmashed parts, because you have this like metallic tech thing that's glowing, and then you have these weird ribbed parts and these cords. This is a very like ornate piece that is still unique looking, but you can build a set around it. And I like it a lot, and the only downside is there is no more glow on the underneath side of those wings. I'm putting the base look in F because I think it's like one of the ugliest pieces in the game, and the ornament saves it, and I think just alone by saving it, it should almost be S, but I think it's B. With the glow, I think it would definitely be A, if it had a glow on that underside. Stormdancers is up next. The base look of this is okay. It's okay. I like... You can't see your legs at all if you wear it with this, so you can use the ugliest legs or the best legs, you won't even notice with how like low the skirt goes on here. You have these cool kind of grenade things, or these like energy storing things, these batteries. But it shades terribly. Almost like, yeah, it feels like 50% of it is always this silver or that black that can't change at all. And with the ornament, I think it's kind of a different take on like the exotic perk, but I think it does it a lot better. And this is, for me, so much better than how it looks normally. You have all this electricity that's arcing around on all these power things, these capacitors and transistors, and you have these cool like straps and harnesses. You can actually see your legs, and it shades pretty well as well, so that's nice. And I don't think there's really other pieces that you have like electricity or some effect like this on a chess piece, at the least. It's really cool. I love it a lot. I think the normal Stormdancers goes in D, and it could be C if it shaded better, I think, but without limited shading, it goes in D. And the ornament goes in A. It could be S, I think. You know what? Yeah, I'm putting it in S. Boom. Hot take. I think this thing's sick. We have Phoenix Protocol next. This is another exotic, just like Stormdancers, where shaders affect a very little amount of it. This banner in the front here, the skirting here, and this red and like the orange of the cords all doesn't change at all. So it's very hard to get a look that matches well, because you kind of have to go with that color scheme, you know. And then if you go for red, you still have the skirt quilt thing that doesn't match, so not that great. And also I don't see how this matches the theme of the exotic that well. Yeah, I mean, it's called Phoenix Protocol. Nothing relates to a phoenix here. The first ornament had kind of fixed that. It added this phoenix, made it a lot more kind of royal looking instead of, I think it's kind of like techie, because I think these are all like wires and cords. So it made it kind of more fantasy-like, and it shades a lot better, except those red gems don't change and the gold of the phoenix doesn't change, but still was a much needed improvement. And then this new ornament is bonkers, out of this world. It looks freaking fantastic. I love it. It's I made a whole video about it. It's so good. It's definitely S. That ornament, the Phoenixfall. I think the first ornament for it goes in B, like right with Mantle, Battle Harmony's ornament, and then I think the base look goes in D, right with Stormdancer's brace. Chromatic Fire is up next. I like the silhouette of this one a lot, the whole look. I like this collar of whatever this is, these metal like pipes. The collar is a really nice look, and I like this like computer pack thing here with the screen and the keypad. It's nice. I like when the Warlock chests have like books and stuff all hanging around, and bits and bobs. The ornament it like takes it up to 11 and changes the theme too. So it's kind of like those Transversive Boots where it made it like Vex themed. This is pretty like clearly like Vex themed with this like data lattice thing that you see like on Nessus and in Vex structures. The computer pack is kind of Vexy, and you have this this new like animated effect on the skirt. None of it shades, unfortunately. The glow doesn't shade on the skirt or the collar. So that's a bit of a downside, but it's a very, very cool look on an already pretty cool looking exotic. So I think the base look can play around with the Mantle, Battle Harmony, and the Phoenix ornament in B, and then the ornament for it is A, I think. If you could wear, you know, 2 exotics, this with those Transversive Steps ornament would be a very, very, very cool look, I think. Sanguine Alchemy's up next. I love how this thing looks. It's totally like a Count Dracula or like a vampire themed look. It's very, very sleek and nice. It shades fantastically. I just wish, you know, it was a exotic worth using. You know, it's a very lackluster piece, but looks wise, it's out of this world. It's a very, very great look, and it's pretty simple too. It's just like, you know, these like Count robes. But for me, it's S for sure. One of my favorite looks, and I wish I could run it without, you know, kind of hampering myself by running that exotic. We got Vesper of Radius. This thing, again, it doesn't look that exotic to me. And it shades like okay, but like this gray part, the whole gray of the thing doesn't change at all. And I feel like there's a lot of Warlock pieces that look like this that are just a regular armor and not exotic. The ornament, you know, dials it up to 11 like a lot of them do. Adds this glow that doesn't change with shader, which is a bit unfortunate, but it adds this kind of this glowing stuff on the skirt, and it adds this robe effect kind of here. It changes the chest part of it and adds that robe look, which reminds me a lot of like Snoke from Star Wars, or like a kind of like a kimono. I like that look a lot on Warlock. This is like the only piece that does that really. So I'd like for more pieces that have specifically like this look here. So I think for the base look, that's a C. The ornament, I'll put it in B along with all those other ones as well. If the glow could change, this would be A, I think, easily. We have Wings of Sacred Dawn. These are a very cool looking Warlock piece. Again, we have like instead of that computer pack, we have a book now. And we have these very cool wings. And it shades pretty well. You can't change the glow, the gold trim or the gem or the glow in the wings, but everything else shades fine. And the ornament for it is kind of like an inverse of like, so it's gold and red for this, and now it's like it's silver and blue. This kind of like Taken looking blue, and this is really cool too. It kind of just depends, you know, what like mood you want for it. It doesn't change anything besides that, you know. I think even, it changes the side of the book. If you want the book on your one hip, you have to use, you know, left or right hip. I think I'll keep these paired together. You know, there's no difference between the two. And I think they go in A. I like those wings a lot, and I wish Warlocks had more things like that. Definitely not on the chest piece, because the chest piece for Warlock already dictates kind of like the majority of how they look, you know? Like with the Starfire Protocol, it is down to the legs because you have the skirt, your whole chest, half of your arms, you know? And then, so that's what, 70% of how you look, 80? And then if you added like wings now on top of that, that's too much for the chest to be dictating. So I don't know if you would make it something for the arms or for the bond. I think it'd be better for the bond, and then it, you know, because it affects here and something on the back. Some like effect. It doesn't have to be wings, but it could be some particle. Would be nice. Now, for Starfire, again, this is a piece I think that just kind of looks like a normal legendary. There's not a lot to it besides this like this silver decal over the whole thing. I do like that it's kind of bulky. A lot of Warlock robes are pretty skinny. This one definitely, you know, is pretty chunky. I'll put it along with Vesper, but above it in C. We have Nothing Manacles up next. Gauntlets, for me, I'm a lot more nitpicky on gauntlets because you see these when you're actually playing the game. When you're in first person, you're shooting stuff, you're going to be seeing your gauntlets. So I like when they change up the gauntlet design. They do something to this default hand model, you know, because you're going to be seeing it the whole time playing. They're always on your screen. I know you can see your legs, you know, if you look down, but you're not really doing that ever. But you see your hands when you punch, when you throw abilities, when you shoot, when you reload. So having a cool arms means a lot to me, and I value that over a lot of the other things. So a lot of the gloves are pretty highly rated for me. These are pretty cool. You've got this whole like bad boy goth emo vibe with it, with the spikes and the chains. You have this really cool void energy in the center. It shades okay. Because there's that void energy, you kind of want to keep it dark. If you do like white or something, it can look a bit off, and it washes out the purple. So I've always found like darker looks better with it. Pretty, you know, simple, kind of simple, but it's a good look. Definitely like an A for me. Goes right there. Necrotic Grip is kind of similar. You have this energy coming off in the center here, but it's this poison instead, and you have this decaying like flesh on the wrist and the forearm. Looks really cool. You have all these wires and cords going up to the hands, the fingers. Really cool look. Shading, you have this patch here that doesn't shade, but I think that's okay because it kind of keeps the decaying look. You know, you want to keep it looking kind of like gross. You don't want it looking, you know, clean. Where's that one rusted? Here, like this. Like, it's kind of like, it's supposed to look like gnarly and all like ruined. And that poison effect is sick. You can see it in first person. So that's why I was so confused when the ornament came out for it, and that particle effect is just gone. And I know it's called like Chimera's Sting, so you're like, okay, well, is the poison, there's nothing that the poison would inject from. You could have this, and then maybe if you extended it, you know, and it's actually like a stinger, that like, then maybe I could see it. But then that's kind of just like a liar's handshake. But I don't know, this kind of just ruins the exotic, and like, what do you get for it? You get the Queen's Guard symbol on the arm. It's a head scratcher for sure for me. I think the normal look goes with Nothing Manacles, but a bit above it in A. And the ornament, I'm gonna put the ornament in F. I think it actually like ruins the look. Like you cannot tell this is supposed to be Necrotic Grips wearing this. You know, there's nothing. You know, it'd be like if Nothing Manacles had an ornament that took the purple energy away. You know, that's the exotic's thing. You can't really touch that. think if it didn't like ruin it, and that was just like an exotic on its own, I think it'd be C. It's just pretty average. But since it's like ruining an exotic, I think it goes an F. Getaway Artist is next. These are just pretty simple, you know, they're fine looking. You have some glows on it, it's pretty cool. And it does change the whole like hand model, which is nice, you know. You have this rolled up sleeve here. The first ornament for it makes it a lot more kind of like alien looking. Less techy for sure, because instead of like glowing lights now, it's kind of like alien looking plating. You have these cool like decals on it now, and then the Cabal ornament is very, very cool. It looks a lot different than the other two, of course, because the other two are very, very similar. But it does keep kind of, I think the theme of it was supposed to be this whole thing on the back of the wrist, and it does keep that with this whole thing. I like this one more than the other two. You have these like War Beast scales. You have this tubing here. It's all very cool. You have these. It's just big and bulky. It's very nice. I like armor that looks like the enemies we fight. I wish we had more of it, because it seems like it's always like exotics and exotic like ornaments, and I would love for a legendary set to just look like a Hive or like a Fallen or a Vex. We got that a bit with the Lightkin set, which was nice. I think Getaway Artist is just C, you know. I think we'll put them like this. And then the Cabal ornament is B, and I think it would be A if it had some like animated effect to it. If it had like some steam coming out of somewhere or something, it would be A easily. But you know, like there's a bit of a, you know, disconnect here, and there's some steam going psh, or some fire or something. But right now it's just a cool model, which is fine, you know, but it could be a bit more, I think. Contraverse Hold, I have mixed feelings over, because I do like the whole theme of this void like strip here, but I don't like this whole bulky shape here. I wish it was a lot thinner, because it goes really terribly with a lot of chess pieces, and I don't know, and you have these computer chips here, which I don't know, the computer chips are okay. I wish there was a ornament that made these like screens instead, and it would make this strap or strip go all the way up to here and just slim down this whole bulky thing. I don't really get what it's supposed to be doing. If it wasn't so bulky, I would definitely go along with all these, but I think it goes with the Getaway Artists down here in C, because I have stuff I don't like about it, you know. I don't like this whole thing, and the computer parts like look kind of weird if you're trying to run a certain like look. They can stand out. Claws of Ahamkara are up next. These things, pretty simple. They just look cool. You have these metal feathers, which look great. You have this like dragon claw thing here on the arm or the fingers, which look nice. Shade's great. You know, looks fantastic. Very cool. Works on both arms. Very simple, very nice. That goes right along with that Getaway Artist ornament in B, for sure. Ophidians, baby. I love these. These are so cool. These are so great. And it saddens me, because I've been looking at like D1 armor for Warlocks, because their arms used to go up, you know, to the shoulder like all the other classes. And with these then, this whole you know, these snakes looking at this orb was up here on the shoulder, and it was massive and it looked awesome. It's kind of relegated to this, you know, short forearm thing now, but even then, it still looks great. Shade's really nice. Looks good. Then they made an ornament that doubles down on the sneakiness of it, and it's literally just 2 snakes wrapped around your arms, and then they're surrounding like a moat, like some greedy snakes. I think this one shades even better. There's so many cool looks you can do with like the snakes, because they take the colors differently. So you can do this, you know, just some, your arms just wrapped in snakes. It's awesome. And then we have like a different take on it, and instead of snakes, now it's like electrical wires and cords and bundles. And I think this one's really, really inventive, because you keep the silhouette of the base look with these 2 snakes looking at the orb. It's now 2 broken bundles of wires kind of surrounding this like Rasputin looking Warmind energy. Really cool. I wish I had this ornament so I can see how it looks, you know, in first person. But I think they're all great. Because these look better sometimes with certain pieces, you know. This stands out a bit more. Sometimes you don't want just little snakes wrapped around your arms for certain sets. But I think all 3 go in S, I think. Very, very, I love them. They're great. Aeon Soul up next. Very unique look that reminds me of in Metal Gear Solid 4, those robots that made the cow noises. I think they're called like Gecko. It reminds me of that material their legs were made out of, that like kind of organic looking rubber plastic. And a lot of the enemy soldiers had it too, and the bosses. It's a really nice, I'm a fan of that look. And it shades well too. You can make it, you know, full black or white. And all these like needle injection things are cool too, because you can see there's energy venting out of them, and they change colors based on which Aeon cult mod you have in. I think it's red, blue, and green. And then when you're next to the allies too, they actually form actual needles. So instead of just the energy venting out here, it would be like a long like needle, which is really cool. I like that a lot, and I like that like there's not just nothing without that. I think they're A along with those other gloves, but a bit above them, I think. Winter's Guile. Oh boy. Okay, look at this thing. You're like, damn. That's a bit lame. What's exotic about it? That thumb piece? Yeah. Okay, how's the shade? Like crap. You can change this like leather color, that's it. You're like, okay. That kind of sucks. Well, is the ornament good? The picture's sick. You're like, boom. Did you equip it? Yeah. Here's the difference. The leather there moves slightly. A different fold in your leather. You're like, what? So I have it equipped to show you, because it's affecting the other hand that you don't see in the inspection thing. It's affecting this. So here, you have this metal, really like ancient looking like artifact, which is cool. I like it. Just put it on both arms. I get what they were going for with, you see it when you melee. You go, your force punch melee. You'll see that arm with it. But just put it on both arms, man. You know, so you can see the other one when you're holding your gun, you know, or like a bow or something. And especially with its ornament, this is really cool. This block of ice with this kind of evil smoke emanating off of it. If you had that on both arms, that's such a cool look. I think just being on one arm is such a Again, I get what they were going for, but like you could at least do something to this arm to like anything, you know? It's a letdown for me. I almost want to put him in F just because of that. But I don't know. If it affected both arms, Winter's Guile would be, I think, C, and its ornament would be A for sure. Maybe even S. That smoke stuff is sick. I'll put it D. They guys are lucky though. They almost should be F. Like, look at this. The picture for it is so cool. Like, whoa. And you look at it, and the arm you're looking at, he doesn't even see it. You only see it when you punch, which, for like a glove, is... No, yeah, okay, D. Should be F. Karnstein Gauntlets are the next one we're looking at. These, I feel like they're not as good as they should be, I think. For these like vampire gloves, this whole vampire theme and healing, there should be something to do with the fingers, like claws or something. I like this scale stuff here. It's cool. This shade's like alright. You know, you have half that don't, so you can kind of do like cool patterns like this. And the ornament, the ornament then adds these claws on the knuckle, but just 2 of them for some reason. You only get 2. Wow, it's like the Winter's Guile adds 1 thing on the thumb. You're like, wow, nice, you know. But I would prefer if it kept those scales there and it didn't add this big plating here. I'd prefer the scales with those knuckle claw things and then stuff on the actual fingers. Because if we look at here, like if we look at the image for the ornament, it looks like it has things going on the claws here, you know. But then in game, there's just these 2. Like I don't know if they removed them or something, or it's just a weird photo. It feels like they should have something. If they did, I think it would be much higher. But for right now, I think it's just C, because they're pretty cool, you know, they're pretty unique. It's like these, you know, I feel like they could be much cooler though. Sunbracers, these are just nothing manacles but solar, basically, you know. Again, these work a lot better with darker shaders, because if you use something like white, you know, it's like blinding and you can't really see the fire, so something darker is a lot nicer. You just got firearms, you know, pretty cool. The ornament, boom, now you're Osiris. These are just great. I love these. I think the blue is a lot nicer to look at than the red. You have these nice feathers here that all, you know, change color. Such a cool look. You have the Osiris eye here. I like this one a lot. Super nice. Super cool. And it's like, I think it's one of the only armor pieces that an NPC has, I think. I don't know if anyone else has anything like that. So normal Sunbracers would go, you know, along with nothing manacles and everything. And I think the ornament is top of A. I don't know if it's S. I think we'll put it top of A. I don't want to clog S too much. Yeah, we'll do top of S for now. Dawn Chorus. Now we're on to helmets. Helmets, for me, can look... A lot of my helmets are, again, going to be, like, higher than, like, other things, but helmets are cool. It's kind of like the best way for a Warlock to express themselves, you know, because the robes can't be too out there or it just looks funky. So helmets are a nice way you can have like a pretty simple, you know, I'm sidetracking here, but like you can have a pretty simple look like this, you know, and then the helmet can really kind of stand out. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The helmet is kind of the piece you want to stand out, usually. You know, sometimes you do want like your gauntlets, yeah, if you have Sunbracers or something, to be the focus point. But usually it's the helmet. So I don't mind that it's this kind of funky looking, weird thing. And at least unlike Mantle Battle Harmony, it's like it's a solid theme, and it's not like a mishmash of a bunch of stuff. It's one like cohesive piece. And shades pretty well too. You can have some pretty cool looks. Like this copper look is nice. I like it. I like it. I think it's A. Boom. Probably a hot take. Put it like there. Next helmet, Fellwinter's. I love the silhouette of this one. And again, it's kind of like Star Wars looking. I really like the here, because a lot of the helmets are just that, like that window, then it's like that smoky, like liquid looking thing. This kind of Star Wars looking visor is really cool. And then just the whole silhouette of like the ram with this slope here and these horns is really cool. It shades well. You have that funny ghost stuck at the back of your head. It's a really nice looking piece. And it goes well with a lot of stuff too. You know, it's not a divisive look at all. It fits with many things. I'd put it there. Astrocyte Verse is next. It's basically a fishbowl, but you have like a whole void universe in there. Shades pretty badly, which, I mean, you don't want to... It would be pretty cool to shade the galaxy, you know, and you use a green thing and it's all green. But it just affects the housing here. And it kind of makes sense because it's for Blink specifically, which is void, you know. I like it. It's cool. It fits again with a lot of things. You know, helmets are supposed to look like pretty standout. It's a bit more divisive than I think like Fellwinter's, but I think it's like the same weight category. They pack the same punch. I just like Fellwinter's shape so much. Apotheosis. This thing, gross again, like Mantle of Battle Harmony. I think a big part of it is like the base shader. You could put some things on that make it, you know, not as bad, but it's just ugly looking. And it would almost look like a blue helmet if this was not this green and it was just the default like black window. So this emerald stuff like kind of saves it. But then you have this weird like stitching going on. I don't like it. I'm putting an F. I just think it's a little gross, to be honest. I think it could very easily be D, but I think this thing's just bleh. F for me. Brothers. Verity's Brow. People don't like how this one looks too, and there's kind of like this and two others are kind of this thing where it's bone mainly for the helmet, and then you have this thing that cases the bone. That is the thing that shades, and the bone never changes color. I like this though. I think I like this silhouette, this trident look. I think it looks cool from the side. The only bad thing is that like, yeah, it's hive bone with hive like magic spouting out of it. So you can't make like a Vex look with this. It would just be out of place, you know. Futuristic look is kind of like like it kind of has to be like some ancient like researcher or something, you know. You don't want to be running around in like a tech wear suit with this. It kind of looks out of place. But it's cool, you know. I'd put it in B. It's not A because it's pretty restrictive, like on what you can like wear it with. So I think it goes like there. Stag is next up on that casing for the skull, the bone, just like Verity's. But it's a stag. Stags are sick. Like I love like the antlers, you know. You have these cool like candlelit fire here in the eyes. Super cool. This is my favorite out of like the 3 like bone helmets. Jesus Christ. Okay. The ornament for it. Boom. Holy cow, it's a mecha stag. Look at this. This thing then does shade. Everything except the silver here, which honestly I like, because there's always like a pattern you can see, you know, like the skull markings. Eye changes color, the antlers change color. It's so cool. So cool. And like the antlers are massive with this ornament. I just love it. Ornament S. I think it's the best looking armor piece in the entire game, the Stag Ornament. My mind will never be changed on that, ever. I hope one day it is. I hope someday they come out with something as sick as it. And then Stag goes along with Verity, but slightly better than it, I think. Nezurex. I love... I'm trying to figure out how to word it. I love how this thing looks. Again, like Fellwinter's, I love the silhouette of it, but I'm a sucker for these like antler horn things, like just with Stag. It's super duper cool. I love it. And this thing just looks mean. I think it's this visor here that always stays silver, like no matter how you shade it. But this like mean look, I love it. This like menacing, sinister look is so cool. Like I'm talking about Star Wars a lot, but it looks like a Sith Lord helmet again. And then the ornament I do like. It makes it a lot more ancient. So as you can see, there's like lights on this, like it's all metal, you know. But the ornament makes it look like etched stone, which is really cool. And this then is like an ancient, you know, Sith Lord, you know, and that I forgot the Sith planet, Korriban, whatever. You know, in the Knights of the Old Republic RPGs where you do like the Sith school. Super cool. This is definitely something one of them would wear, but I don't like it as much as the normal look. I think it's like bulkier. The horns are shorter, as you can see here. Like the horn ends right there. With the ornament, they go up a lot higher. The shaping of them, the horns is different too. You can see it's a lot straighter and it's not as sloped. And it just doesn't look as mean, which I think is the biggest thing for me. I think, you know, you can't really tell. It's like a pretty neutral expression, unless you think these are the eyes here and he's like, argh. But it's a neutral expression where I think normal Nezurex you can pretty clearly see like it's like evil and angry, like this Nezurek guy everyone theory crafts in the lore. Nezurex, boom, S. Its ornament, I would say it goes with like Fellwinter's and stuff. I have another world. We're almost done. Last 3. Ooh. Another kind of like fishbowl, like astrocyte, but you have this white smoke. But this time, the housing's a lot more noticeable, so shaders matter more, you know? You can do some cool looks. And then the ornament, boom. It's all black except for this, I think this is supposed to be like a black hole in the center, and then these nodes glow. It's super cool. It's kind of like those Wings of Sacred Dawn. It's just kind of, you know, you feel like a nice version or like an evil kind of version. I prefer the black hole look, but they're both basically the same. You know, I think I would do it like that. I think, boom, like that. Because you don't really want the black hole look on everything. Crown of Tempest. Boom, boom. As you can see, the whole silhouette is based off of this, the crown. and then this crystal thing in the middle, this glass or this ice. Before some update, I think that happened like a year ago, it looked a lot more like its picture, and the glow of like the glass looked just like this on the crown jewel ornament. But with that update, it was they made it a lot darker, which I like, because before, the only difference between the ornaments was like this patch here in the front. Besides that, they were almost the same. The glass color was a bit different, but this makes it a lot more noticeable. And I don't know if it was like a bug or they just were like, hey, let's, change it. Shader wise, you're only shading the bandana on it. And then with the crown jewel, you're doing the stone part in the front of the mask too. With Witch Queen, we got a little hive wizard from the Scarlet Keep, just helmet. Looks so cool. You have these hive, thorns making up the crown. You have these cool earrings. All this hive chitin just looks so good. You still have the bandana all around. It's great. Some shaders can look kind of weird on it, because it's supposed to be organic looking. So if you make it look like metal, it's a bit off. So I like to keep it pretty, or at least make it red, so it just looks wet instead. You have that red glow, which pulses a little bit. It's always going to be red, so you can't make it, something else. But I think it looks good. It looks great. Again, you still have the crystal here in the middle and the crown. Then we have the Season of the Splicer one, which is super, super cool. I like it a lot. It's literally just a tech version of, the base look. It was some ancient wizard found it and made a helmet out of it. And this is, what if a tech guy found it, this cyberpunk, super cool magic rock electricity thing. But when you shade it, it takes away the rocks glow, the shine of it. And it's really disappointing for me, because then it just makes it look kind of weird. It's still pretty interesting. This isn't a bad look, I think, but it would be nice if the stone stayed stony instead of then taking the shader's texture and looking like leather here or something. It would be S if it always looked like stone, but I think then it goes, A. And then the normal Crown of Tempest look, I do like it a lot. So I think they both go here. And then the Hive Wizard one is S. This just an awesome look, I think. It doesn't fit with everything, because it's literally a Hive Wizard, but it's such a neat thing. And I hope they do more stuff like that. Skull of Dire Ahamkara. This is the last of that trio of a bone helmet with the casing. My least favorite of the three. The bone just doesn't look that intimidating compared to the other two. It seems really rounded, and not even that scary. That got fixed with the Hateful Wish ornament. This thing is now super menacing, super scary, super jagged. Even just the skull itself is sharp, Now we have these horns are sharp as hell. Look at that. The teeth all jagged as hell. This jaw is longer, and you have these sharp points. Super duper cool. Just look at the even the silhouette difference. You have these blunt teeth, these blunt horns, and then boom, some jagged, And then this shades, which is awesome. You can do some, make it look however you want. Super duper cool. But the points stay at silver, so do cool things. It's sick. I love it. And then we have the Riven look. Literally just Riven skull, which is so cool. This would have been really nice to earn as an ornament for beating Last Wish or something, I hope they do something in the future like that. You can get ornaments of bosses by killing them. I'd love that. A Titan gets a Taniks helmet. Warlock or Hunter get some Atrax thing, you know, it'd be so cool. For shading for this, the whole thing shades except these like teeth, the fin things here. And I just like, I like this silhouette of it a lot. It's a lot different than the other two, but like, you still have this bottom mandible jaw thing, but now you have this whole huge like, almost like rhinoceros like horn here. But it's so cool. I'm like a big fan of Riven and her whole design. So the default skull of Ahamkara, you know, bottom three of the three skulls. Hateful Wish is S. This thing's awesome, I love it. And the Riven one, I'm just gonna put an S. Yeah, I'll put it bottom of S. It could just be top of A, but I'll say it's S. I wish this would be a better exotic, you know, because that's two of my favorite ornaments on it, and it's, yeah. The coolest thing would be have the material like this jaggedness and like straight up like evil, combined with like the ancientness of the Nezarec. If you had this, but that like sharp ass material with then meanness, you know, if it has some of the Nezarec's visor look, that would be like the best look. That's the thing that tops the Stag Ornament here, is a super evil Nezarec look, but like ancient. All right, that's the tier list, my friends. That's gonna do it. I know how long I've been recording. 56 minutes, not too bad. I don't know if I said it earlier, but this is my third time recording, so hopefully this one's it. I'm down I think like 20 minutes from last time I did this, so it's good. And I said I think almost everything that I wanted to, so I condensed everything down, which is good. This is a, you know, much more subjective than like an actual how useful the exotics are, so I'm sure there's going to be some discussion. I'm sure some people think Mantle Battle Harmony looks great, you know, and Apotheosis Veil is fantastic, and the Stag Ornament is a piece of doo-doo and should go below F even. So let me know what you think, for sure. This was fun to make. Maybe if I made it a fourth time it would stop being fun, but you know, that's gonna do it for me. You guys have a good one. I'll see you next time.